Testing mic, testing mic. Welcome, Starseed, Light Warriors, and Entrepreneur, to another episode in the Starseed Lounge podcast. Today, it's a short episode as I want to share my insights about the flight MH370 that went missing in 2014. Today, I encountered a video that pretty much proves what I've already known shortly after this flight went missing. As I know that this kind of events happening all around the world, as our planet is full with different anomalies that science cannot explain, and they won't be able to explain even in 1,000 years from now. So without further ado, I want to share my insights. Let's talk briefly about Malaysia flight 370 that went missing in 2014, and one of the largest rescue and search operation went undergo, and they couldn't find anything. Much later on, they claimed that they saw a debris in this area, but this kind of, let's say it's fake news. Some really know what happened, and this kind of the era of information and technology that everything can be shared online. It's very important for us to use our discernment to know if it's real or not. During that event, when the flight went missing and they start rescue and searching, and they didn't find it, I got a communication that this plane, just like planes in Bermuda Triangle, crossed a portal and went to another dimension. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves. So let's start with what went wrong. What really happened in this flight? So MH370 was scheduled to depart on March 8, 2014, the route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, China. The aircraft was Boeing 777-200 Echo Romeo, call sign 9 Mike, Mike Romeo October. Passenger count with the crew, 239. Last seen, it left the radar range 200 nautical miles northwest of Penang Island in northwestern peninsula of Malaysia. Let's do the image, the map. As you can see, it went from Kuala Lumpur airport. You have the last ECARS message at 1:06 a.m. and then it continues straight ahead for the route to Beijing. At that time, when you see 1:22, what really happened, that the pilots and the crew encounter technical issues with the airplane. There were so many lights and alarms going on. They did a checklist, an emergency checklist, and they conducted that they could not continue the flight. The nearest airport was way ahead of them, so they decided to go and make a U-turn to go back to Kuala Lumpur airport, the origin. But that was not the only problem, because as they made the U-turn, the navigation system collapsed. So the plane and the crew didn't have any visual reference or the instrument. Everything went off, went haywire. Let me stop here and say that this kind of attack, my research said that it was attacked by the negative polarity entities, what they call the Orions, the reptilians, as most of the habitant, the passenger of this plane, were positive vibratory entities. They were, let's say, the good guys. So they tried to target every kind of mass people with good intention to divide and conquer. So let us continue. So as we said, the navigation system collapsed and they started going drifting. We have, again, no visual reference, and they try to trust whatever they can have on instrument, basic instrument on the plane to guide them, but they became way off course. Now, at that time, the pilot told the passengers that they have a problem and they need to go back to the airport for emergency landing. Some of the passengers panicked and they're starting to plea for the higher forces to save them. What can I say? The prayers. They start praying. Now, what happened, as most of the people there was positive vibratory entities. They are very good guys, they're pure of heart. So whatever you have a mass of positive energy, everything vibrates and rotates in a certain frequencies. And before we will get into the portal thing and the video we will watch in a few seconds, we will know that whenever it's, let's say that I've heard that metal cannot pass portals to other side because they're man-made, only organic material. But I will tell you soon why it is possible in that case. So, as you can see, this is the cockpit of the 777-200ER. And you see all the navigation went haywire. The second on the left became right, left. Only the altitude was operated, and they try to do whatever they can, restart the navigation system, use the auxiliary power. But there was like the plane had an autopilot and set course, just whatever the computer imprinted inside him. So, as I say, when the plea was so strong, it reached to the Council of Planets. The Council of Planets examined the situation, and because the masses of people, basically all of them, had prayed, and as they prayed, they were so good and pure of heart, so all of them, the mass consciousness was resonating in the fourth dimension, fourth density. With that being said, as the Council of Planets knew that, so they guided the Galactic Federation to intervene. The Galactic Federation told the Ashtar Command to send aircraft and to create what we know as a portal. They send, let's see, we send about 3 aircraft. Now let's start the video. As you see the flights, we see on the map that it went toward the ocean until the last communication. As you can see, it's flying and flying and flying. And you start seeing small dots circling, you see? Now, you see, this is the Ashtar Command. Now they're rotating clockwise, 3 of them. What they do, it's like a vortex. They're creating clockwise and counterclockwise. So what they're doing, they're creating the portal in which the aircraft can transfer into a new Earth. a parallel dimension of Earth, but the fourth density. As you can see, they operated that and bam, it went. These kind of portals happened and happening all around the world. We have video footage, we have images, but the mainstream media will not talk about it. They will not show it because it will open a Pandora box about the multidimensional, the multiverse, the law of the universe, our history, the Anunnaki, the entities. It basically, the whole system is collapsing already, but it will shut down the religious part and everything, the monetary system, the relationship establishment, the marriage, everything will collapse because that's kind of the old Earth. So these people are crossed to a parallel reality, another new Earth dimension where this third density, where we are currently going, we will pass into fourth density. Only the one who choose to awaken and to vibrate in higher, the fourth density or the fifth. Not everyone will make it. Some will go to another place until they will start to wake up in their own time. But with that in mind, you have to know that it's a choice if you want to make the transition. If you like the Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, and all these negative polarity entities, the World Economic Forum, and all these leaders, so quote unquote, will not make it to the new Earth. So I already passed to the new Earth few times, but I've been told that I have here a greater calling to wake up the others, and I will talk about soon in a few seconds about an incident that I had and involved the Ashtar Command. All right. As we can see here, the chain of command, the Council of Planets get a call. If they see that the vibratory state are acceptable, they go to the Galactic Federation. The Galactic Federation then choose, like the Marines, the Air Force, whatever it's available for them. We're capable with the technology to make that, let's say that to execute the order, to pass them. So as we can see, once you resonate with a certain frequency, it affects the matter in the vessel. So even the aircraft, it's made by humans, it resonates with atoms. And the positive vibratory state, it affects every atom around you, whether it's man-made or nature. So it's everything vibrates, everything is a breathing organism. So that's why the aircraft succeeded to pass to the new Earth. And again, it's fourth density. I'm not talking about 5 and 6, where this aircraft cannot move. We saw that in Bermuda Triangle, where aircraft went with their pilots. They saw entities, they saw in other places that didn't exist. They passed to the new Earth. Some of them came back, and they say, and they told what they saw, how they felt, where they lived. They can be there for 20 years, and they go back, it's like only 1 minute, because in the third density, we have a linear progression. Fourth density, we will still have time, but with anomalies, it's not linear. In the fifth, there is no time at all, only the power of now. So this is for that part. The passenger, I want to say something to the families of the Malaysian MH370. Your loved one and your family are alive and well. Every one of them. They're just in another density, the fourth density. The one who will raise his vibration to the fourth density will meet them in the flesh. So don't worry about it. They didn't die. There is no death. So this is for that part. And why I'm showing my book here, because this is the book I've added just before to printing, an experience that I had in November 19, 2021, where I participated in the moon war. I was physically on the moon surface fighting with the Pleiadians in the Arcturian. And my mission was, as a fleet commander, is to track a technology and devices on below the moon surface that called the soul trapping machine. And I found it, I recorded it in writing, I have diagrams and coordinates that I had passed to the Galactic Federation and the Arcturians and the Ashtar Command, because they have the technology, they have the technology and the skills to shut it down. So you can see inside this book, I had 2 trips. Both of them are inside the book. You can find the book on Amazon.com and on richardlionheart.net. It's hardback, paperback, and of course, Kindle and PDF. So this is for this book. And I want to say to my friend, shout out to Sam the Illusionist. I very recommend that you follow him on YouTube and on Patreon. He delivers messages from Metatron, Galactic Federation, Ashtar Command. He's the real deal. He's legit. Many of his knowledge proves and resonate with things that I know since I was young. And until now, I made peace with my unique abilities when I was a child. Like most of the starseed are born in an environment that are very primitive. It seems like the environment don't know you. They think you're crazy. But now I know that every prediction that I made, every analysis on every global events, I was 100% dead accurate. Sorry to using the word dead, but I was accurate. There is no 0.0001 point of mistakes, because when your intuition connected to the source, the infinite source, the source never wrong. So this is kind of abilities have in each and every one of you. So you can check Sam the Illusionist. And this is for today's short episode about the MH370. And I will continue upload another short episode about the events. So good night for you all. Peace and love.